right, we back once again. Wow, what a day in the market. So using the T scalper, couple of trades that showed up, which is basic price action, and using the scalper sort of as a guidepost, as a tool, as a timing mechanism. What you want to know about coming into the market, at least starting the week off, is make things easy for yourself. Mark the gap that happens, because a lot of times they're going to come fill that gap, especially if they open the market below. So here they are, they're opening the market here, instant run of the stops or running of any kind of liquidity up here. They went right to it. And that's because of that gap. And this happens all the time. If there's a gap in the market, it's starting the week, especially on futures, look for that to get filled. Very, very highly likely. We actually had a gap created in Dixie as well. So, if you are paying attention to the correlated markets, you want to go look at Dixie. You can see the gap there as well was also filled to the downside and then refilled to the upside. So this is sort of a pivot zone for me, going, all right, so since they're basically not correlated, they're anti-correlated, then if Dixie's going up and it's breaking its gap to the upside, then I'm definitely not going to be bullish on something like tech, because those things usually run opposite each other. The other side of it was paying attention to the overnight session. Okay, so you always want to come in here and kind of look at this. It's like what I always do is, you can see I got everything turned off. I'll use them as tools, but I like to look at the chart just as basic price action first off. First thing you notice here was in the early session they had a head and shoulder pattern that broke to the downside. And the way you measure these, if you don't know, you're basically going to take the top of the head and measure it to the neckline, and then you can basically get your target to the downside. So this was a play that I was taking in the morning as a pretty low risk trade. And then what did they do? What did they do during the regular session? They did the same thing. I mean, you've got the head and shoulder here that was created. This is kind of ugly looking, obviously, but I don't know what kind of head and shoulder that is. But you got the head and shoulder here. Same exact thing. You just take them. And it's so cool how they basically mirrored the London session with New York, and you had your price target down at the baseline, and it was the same neckline. So a lot of times the overnight session, the gap down, kind of putting all the tools together. We had the Dixie kind of breaking its stride to the upside, creating basically a V-shaped pattern here. Pretty bullish for Dixie on this, and then breaking above the gap. Now they created another gap here. As the market opened again, instant fill, sort of a trap, and then now they're fading Dixie. So you want to be aware of Dixie probably finding some support here, and then you had the reverse head and shoulder that occurred here. So using the correlated market, you could see that the reverse head and shoulder was happening here while the head and shoulder was being created here, and then you had the mirrored head and shoulder from the London session, and they used the same neckline. So looking at these little things, and then you got the liquidity sweep to the upside. Looking at these little things. Now we add in the T scalper. How could this have helped? Basically you're long here just per the rules, because you've got buyers, you're above the lines, you're above the EMAs, above the cloud. You're probably looking to sell into the gap fill. And then as far as the rest of this goes, you can start trying to take trades. I would have definitely been a little bit wary here. You could have taken some scalps here, and then once you saw the pattern was completing with the head and shoulder, you're definitely looking to get short around this area here. So and then you got your measured move to the downside. That was a very, very nice trade. So two very nice trades here. Then you had a trade here to the upside that you could have taken, and then you had the trade here to the downside you could have taken. A lot of opportunities here, and just sort of using the EMAs and the clouds as sort of guideposts here. So moving into tomorrow, we don't really have much. You have sort of a reverse head and shoulder occurring here. It's kind of wonky just because it's this shoulder is a little bit shallow. So you got this situation here. So I would be looking to potentially make a play up to maybe about 72, 71, which takes us right back to where that neckline again. So you've got the neckline at about 86, 85. This looks like it's attempting to go back, retest that zone again, but you would want to see if it can get over this resistance. So right about here, you could take some profits, see how it acts, start moving your stop up. If it busts through here, it's likely going to go test that neckline again, come back. There's maybe a re-entry right there, and then maybe we can head higher again. That would be a preferred scenario here. We would want to watch Dixie. We saw the fade happening, and so how does this play out? Currently in a sell signal if you were looking at the scalper, so you're pretty safe as far as having any kind of Dixie pressure onto your position if you are long, because you are in a buy signal here as well. So just looking at it, basic price action, using the correlated market, and looking at previous sessions as well. We saw how they ran the liquidity sweep on the gap down, both with Dixie and with NQ, and then we saw the double head and shoulders into a reverse head and shoulder, which is hopefully playing out here soon. I'm not too confident with that one, but that's what I'm playing for at the moment until it invalidates itself. So hopefully you like this. If you do, like and subscribe. Peace.